Africans, are you loving yourself? Listening to Visionary Talk Radio with Reverend Bagan Tewa D Lamb Christ Consciousness. Let me thank all my people again, right? You know we gotta do it right. And listen, if you can be in this studio, man, it's on fire. You know, 2 guys is like 3 or 5 people in the studio, and it feels like 1,000 people in the studio. That's when people have that spirit, right? You feel like, oh my God, the place is on fire. So listen, once again, African love to all my people around the world, right? As we continue to talk about self-awakening and how do we wake to this consciousness that we are living, and we are talking to so many people is poor, you know, have nothing in this world. Listen, and sometimes the Western world cannot see the rest of the world, you know, that for what it really is, you know, people are poor around this world, you know, and sometimes if you're not conscious of it, you think everything is good, right? Some parts in Africa still, and we see the Arabs enslaving the Africans even today as we talk. This is real, right? We see that. What's going on in the world, some people don't even know, especially when it comes to your people, your brothers and your sisters, right? So let us be in this awakening. Let us be conscious of the things that we do, you know, and the things that we should be aware of. And sometimes you find out we are so indoctrinated in a culture that don't care for one another. We in this culture, this European culture, as it says that many people, you know, because the society are made from different parts of the culture, rich and poor, and many times the rich or sometimes the poor don't even care for the poor. That's a reality. When we don't care for one another, when we are in the same predicament, when we, listen, I figure to myself that we may have some concern for one another, especially if we are all poor. Well, I say, listen, we are all poor, let's do something, but that is not the reality. You find out when people are poor, it's just about self, because they don't have time to think about unity or getting together as a people. Most people don't have that feeling, you know, let's get together, let's fight this poverty, let's do it together. Most people don't think that. Rather than, you know, we live in a world of survival. I'm surviving. And when you in that mood, you know, you cannot do anything, because all you're thinking about is survival. You know, so someone asks a question, how can you really worship God? How can you really worship your Creator when you really have nothing on your table? No food on your table, no food. If you have a refrigerator, right? Some parts of this world, some people don't even have a table to sit, right, by the table and eat their meal, right? So let us be real. And most of us in the Western world, we do not experience that type of lifestyle. And it's very difficult for us as Western people to put themselves in that mindset, especially if you grew up in Canada or London, maybe United States. It's very difficult for most people to put themselves in that mindset of not having anything on their table or no table at all, right? Not even a refrigerator. So the Western world cannot wrap their minds around that consciousness. You see, because what happened, United States, Canada, London has developed so much a concern for their people and the condition of their people. That is why it is a shock to the African psyche today, African people today, whether you come from the Caribbean or you live in Africa. Whether you live in Venezuela, that part of the world, right? Because black is black. Doesn't matter if you're from the Caribbean or if you're from Africa or Venezuela, black is black. So it's very difficult sometimes for that mindset, that psyche of that person to think about poverty in America or poverty in Canada or poor people. And when I say poor, dirt poor, right? It's very difficult to see people in Canada don't even have a table. Yet they are poor people, but the consciousness and the society that they give to us, right? That sometimes we as Caribbean people, we cannot imagine that. Right, that the Europeans are poor sometimes. There's no ghetto in the European world, but they are poor people. You see, that's the difference. Being poor and having to live in a ghetto, that is something different. There's no ghetto in Canada for miles and miles and miles, or a state of people living in poverty. Right? In Canada and in London, you don't see things like that. Now, when you go to Africa, someplace South Africa, you may find poverty in that mindset or that part of the country. Not all over Africa is poor, and not all people in Africa is poor, just like every part of the world, right? Or not everyone are educated. Or not everyone is not educated. There are lots of educated people in Africa, lots of educated people in the Caribbean, lots of educated people United States and Canada. But when you compare to poor people of the world, you cannot compare it. You cannot compare it to education. This poverty that we see around the world. Right, and the rumors of war around the world that we see all the time. You know, that the things that our people are doing to survive, when little girls have to sell their body to survive on the streets. Not just little girls, but women. And some men are doing it also. They gotta sell their body just to survive in this ghetto and shantytown. This is our reality that we live. Right? This is our reality that we live as a people. You know, young girls from 12 years old or 13 or 14 gotta sell their body just to eat something on the, for the day. You understand? And selling your body don't guarantee you're gonna get a meal because you live in a ghetto. And this is our reality. Men are doing it also. And many times the men don't talk about it, because to be a man in society, that will be embarrassed or humiliating. To be a prostitute, to prostitute yourself to another man, right? That's embarrassing. And you don't have to be gay or homosexual to sell your body as a man, because a lot of times men don't see themselves as a gay person selling themselves on the street. They just see themselves as a prostitute selling their body on the streets. You understand? And you know, when you sell your body on the streets, regardless it's a man, it's a woman, you're going to sell your body regardless to a woman or a man, because you want that money. You want to eat something for the day, yeah? You want that food on the table because no one is doing it for you. Nobody gonna put food on your table for you. If especially those females outside there have children, who are gonna feed their children? Because many times you see in some society, as I say, the Caribbean, Africa, and some parts of the States, United States, poverty is poverty, right? No, the governments don't really have that kind of concern to go out there and fish and to look for the poor people and say, listen, let me do this for you, this is democracy. No, they don't do that, right? It's your responsibility as a person to look over yourself. That is the society that we live in. You see, that is the mindset that we live in, to look over yourself. And if no one is looking over you, ain't nobody gonna do it for you. This is reality. So we know that many times when we look at this democracy and when we look at the society, it's just a mockery. It's just a game, not for human concern. You know, it's like we see election in the United States and we see election across the world. But when it comes to poverty and prison, they don't talk about it, because so many of our people are going in prison, regardless if you live in the Caribbean, if you live in Africa. It's the same thing today. If you are African and you live in let's say in London, in Germany, there are ghettos all over, and we're going to see the same type of relationship in how we do things, you see. So it's a global thing. It's not just a West Indian thing or Caribbean thing or just a African thing or United States who live in the ghetto. Politicians, most of them just, right? Yeah, let me say this. I think sometimes not that they don't care, but they don't have the answer for the society. I think most of them do care, because I doubt in my mind that a person would just go into politics just for self. I don't think so, right? Well, I want to not think that, right? I want to not think that, right? I don't want to think that a person go into politics just for self. I think that when they go into politics, it's good. They want to do good for society. But what you discover, like any other thing in society, when you go into society, you find out that's a different reality. You know, yes, you say you're going to do that, you're going to do this, and when you win the race, you find out life is different. You see, so let us be real to what we are seeing. It's like the university. You want to go into the university, you want to become a doctor, right? Because you're nascent, right? You're innocent to certain things within the university. You know, yes, you want to become a doctor because doctors will make it easy, right? All you see is the white clothes, and he says a doctor, Mr. Doctor, but you don't see the study. You don't see that he's sitting night and day out to become a doctor. You don't see that part of it. So when you look at a doctor, you see the white clothes and you see, he say, come to you, what's your name? Let me take your temperature and things like that. And you say, okay, that look easy. You see, we as human beings, that is all we think. We think that is easy. But when you go to the university now and you say, listen, I want to become a doctor, remember, you're 16 and 17, right? So that is how you look at life from the outside. Or many of us look at life from the outside, not inside. And you say you want to become a doctor. And now you're sitting there and the work is so difficult. You cannot do it because you realize that it is much more difficult than it looks. Because some people can make some things look easy. And sometimes when you sit there, it's looking easy, but when you go and do it, it's very difficult to do. Very difficult. So what I'm saying, I don't think any politician get into being a politician and say to themselves, I'm going to be evil. I don't think so. But I think the problems come when you get inside there, you begin to see a different reality and different mindset of things. It's just like our people who live in the ghettos and shantytown. We live in a ghetto with different mindset, different ideologies, different behaviors. So once you have all of that different ideologies, different behaviors, and different certain things that in the way you behave. It's not that simple to put these type of mindset together. It's not that simple, right? Yes, we see Reverend Martin Luther King, put the people together, right? Because he had many people working for him, and that's why it's important, if you want to make changes, is to have the same type of mindset around you. You might not get everyone with the same type of mindset, but or thinking alike at the same time, right? But we can say, yes, I understand what you're doing, and okay, I'm going to leave out my ideology and I'm going to go with you on this one. You see, that is reasoning, because we're looking for the same goals. We are setting the same goals, and sometimes maturity will tell you, you gotta leave yourself out of this sometimes, right? That's reality. Sometimes we gotta do that in order to follow a greater plan than even what you were thinking this is right. That is how society developed it to be great. When you enter into a society, when you go within a society, and also when you go into that mindset of yours. You understand? So we're looking how to grow as a people and how to come to that fruition. Sometimes we don't have to all think alike and to be on the same page at the same time, but we can understand what it takes to move someone into that greater extent of self, right? And that's why we talk about self-worship. A lot of people don't understand self-worship. And the moment you say self-worship, if you're living in a Western world, right? And I say to you, self-worship, automatically, if you are Christian, you're going to say, oh my God, that's a sin. Because many times you see when people use the Bible, it's not to use the Bible for development or for people who've been stagnated for 400 or 1,000 of years. You understand? So we're looking at self-worship, but again, the European mindset going to say that even that is how you're going to know if you really got an African mindset or European mindset. And it's sad, but many Africans in Africa today don't have an African mindset. Remember, they're going to European schools. You understand? We're not talking about color or skin complexion. We are talking in the way how they teach. The way how they teach you, right? So we have to understand that. It might not be an African mindset, but all over this world, not just in Africa alone, but in the Caribbean also. Many people have the European mindset. Many black people living in the world think as Europeans. You see, so when we say mindset, you got to know if that's an ancient mindset. Oh, what's your mind? What are you thinking? And how are you thinking it? And where are you standing when you thinking that? What type of education is your background? What is what you call it? What is the apparatus? What is the tools are you using to think? How to reason things? What is the tools that you're using? It's very important to understand that. It's very important to understand that. What tools are you using to reason? What university are you using? So when you get into that mindset, you will understand that how you think, either what you say, African mindset, African ancient mindset, I will say that, or a European mindset, to think about God, or to think about how to rise as a people who've been defeated, or a people who've been oppressed. Because some people don't like to hear the word defeat, especially black folks, self-denial, right? We don't want to hear that, but our people have been conquered by the Europeans. Let's be real. Let's be real, because many of us, we go to their schools, their teachings, they teach us in the university. It's their university. Let's be real. We are living in their world today, right? The world of rich and poor. And that is the European world that we live in today, the world of rich and poor. That is not designed by our ancient fathers and mothers. It is not designed by our people. So we live in a world of rich and poor. And once you live in a world of rich and poor, you will understand that's the European mindset you are living, that condition. And we call it the world of evil. Right? Not that the Europeans themselves but the ideology, their philosophy is evil. You understand? Because they're living under the rules. You see? That's what I'm saying to you. Not that the man himself is evil, but is God is evil. I put it that way to you. Alright? If you're very conscious, you understand what I'm saying. If you're very conscious, you understand what I'm saying. Not the man himself. You understand? Your decision is not you. You just make a decision. But your decision that you make, you don't have to live with it. You can change it tomorrow. Your ideology, you can change. Your philosophy, you can change. So I'm not referring to the man himself, but I'm referring to his ideology, his philosophy. Right? And when you beat the devil, that is what you want to destroy. You want to destroy his ideology and his philosophy, not necessarily the man you want to destroy, but his ideology and his philosophy you want to destroy. It's just like if you want to destroy the Africans, right? As we see today, how do you destroy the African cultural, in a cultural sense? I want to put it to a way to you so you could understand. You inject the evil in the music. That is how you destroy the Africans. Because Africans listen to music. As I say we, right? Yes. We are allergic to music, right? I don't think allergic to music is the right term. But I'm going to use it anyway. African and his music is like a god. And how you destroy the man, you destroy his culture. And how do you destroy his culture? Through his music. Just dirty the music and he will do whatever the music says to do. That is why we must rebel against the music today. Destroy that culture. Whether it's reggae music, you got to destroy. Whether it's soca, calypso music, destroy that nonsense. Because it's nonsense they give into our people. Do we care? No. We got to tell them, we got to tell the people the realities of life. It's culture, it's a cultural war. That's why the Bible said it's a spiritual war. But many people are blind, deaf and dumb, don't understand culture. And for some people, think that culture is just food, right? Just food and just drink. That's the culture. Culture is everything. Culture is the way you love. Culture is the way you talk to your mother, your sisters, your brother. Or we relate to one another. That's our culture, right? You do it a period of time and we accept it. It become our culture. Your good morning, your good afternoon. That's all your culture. Your love, or you express your love, can be looked as a cultural stand, or we relate to love, right? So we know when the devil come at you, the devil going to come spiritual. That's why he put the music, he corrupt our music, corrupt the music. Listen, when you listen to something, right? Well, let me use this. Okay, when you go to the store and you buy a plate of food from the restaurant, right? If the food is not tasting good, you're gonna say, "What the hell?" Right? You're gonna say, "My God, this don't taste good." What you're gonna try to do, might try to put some salt a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and you try to make it good. But the more you put your little salt, your little garlic and things like that, it becomes worse on your tongue, right? So that's a bad plate of food, right? You say, oh my God, these people cannot cook. There are many things you can do. You can turn your back and say, listen, I'm not coming back here again. Throw away the food. Or you can go to the chef and say, listen, hey chef, if you're talking to a Chinese man, you can say, hey, Mr. Chinese, your food stink, right? Give me back my money. You know, in that type of behavior, we can say this, hey, your food stink. Give me back my money. And the guy look at you and say, get out of here, right? We're seeing that many times in our society. Or we behave to one another, or react to one another. It's culture, all right? So I'm saying this for you to understand. And to understand from a cultural stand. When I say apparatus, what tools are you using to rise as a people? What tools are you using to understand our situation? What lens are you using? Because you cannot love the devil and want to destroy the devil. That would make sense to you. You cannot love the devil and want to destroy the devil. And that is what many of our people are doing. We want to love the devil and destroy the devil. It's not going to work. You are corrupting yourself more and more. You cannot love God and love Satan at the same time. So Satan knows how to destroy God's children. Destroy his culture and you will destroy the man. You destroy Satan's philosophy, is the ideology, and you will destroy Satan himself. But if you're looking to destroy the individual, it will never work. It will never work. Destroy his culture and he will be defeated. Because his culture are made from lies. His culture have nothing to do with the cosmic laws, which our people relates with. The cosmic laws, our body, our minds, our thoughts and every other thing relate with the cosmic laws. You see, that is our people. That is our God, that is our religion. Or we react to one another in the cosmic sense. You understand? Or we relate to things, places, the things that you hear, or relate to you in a cosmic sense. If you understand what I'm saying, the universe, I ask many people many times, what's the difference with you and the universe? There's no difference between you and the universe. Some people will look outside and say, I'm seeing the universe just as skies. And when I say the universe is everything within and everything. The trees, the birds, the air that you breathe, it's all the universe itself. Or do you fit in as a human being in the cosmic laws? Or do you fit in? You are just like a tree, and sometimes people say, oh no, we are greater than a tree. What you are saying, you are greater than life. You have to understand it. Let me give you a little example. If the sun don't shine on the tree will die. If the tree don't get wet from the rain, the tree will die. If you as a human being don't get sun, you also will die after a time. If you don't get water as a human being, you will die. That is just life. Water is water. Whether it's cups, whether it's soda you drink, some type of water, liquid, it's still water. I put it that way to you. So how different are we from nature? Are we really different from the trees and the birds that we see? Don't the fishes want its life? Don't the tree desire the living of life? Are you relating with nature? And how are you relating with nature, or you just seeing a tree just something to cut down, a bird just to kill? How are you relating with life? You understand what I'm saying to you? How are you relating with the world? But if you in a type of situation, survival mode, you're not going to see this what I'm talking about, because you're trying to survive, you see. You're trying to survive. I want to do this. I don't want to. You understand? But when you sit and you realize man is the same as the universe. No water, you will die. No sun, the planet going to destroy. That is reality, and there's nothing you can do for that. You understand? I describe God in many different ways for people. And sometimes, as a Christian, people say, well, that's not God. I say, where are you standing? Where are you standing? Are you seeing the same thing the way I am seeing it? So, in order to understand self, you must understand yourself. And to understand yourself is to know you. If you don't know you, you lost, you gone. You in your own, what you call fantasy. And many people are living a fantasy rather than reality. The moment you have some type of fantasy in your mind that what God is and what God is not, and when you come to a conclusion, oh, this is God, you realize all the time you will live in a fantasy. You understand? So many people live that fantasy, that delusion. And how do it change? When you change your mindset. Again, I'm going to say to you, you are no different because you are the universe. I can say that to you. Say, oh my God, what? What? I'm the universe? Yes, you are the universe itself. Not piece of the universe, you are the universe. You say, well, Bagan, what are you talking about? Right? There's some people like that. Bagan, Reverend Bagan, what are you talking? You are the universe? Yes. And then I come and say, well, you living in heaven. It's even worse now. For some Christian minds. And some pagans also. Right? We call them pagans, but we're not here to mock anyone this morning. So we wouldn't say pagans, right? But when we was growing up, we didn't know it was an insult. We just say those pagans, right? Or pagans, right? It's the same pig, right? Come to mess you up. So we don't say that anymore because we try to respect everyone. I say try. Because it's so, you can only put up with these people for so long. Right? So we try to be nice to everyone. I'm being facetious here, right? And we try to be nice with everyone. So we understand in order to rise, we must let's say, to go to the mountain, as Reverend Martin Luther King said to us. We got to go on the mountain.